This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the CEO of SURG Copper, Mr. Leif Nilsson. How are you today? It's been a bit.
Yeah, doing well, Gerardo. Thanks for the conversation today. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for asking. It's timely. Copper is back at $4.40 a pound. You just intersected 495 meters of 0.54%, copper equivalent, including 126 meters of 0.85% copper equivalent at West Seal. You've just concluded a nearly 27,000 meter drill program. I'd love to get an update on how that went and how you're feeling about the program in general.
Sure. So the release that we put out yesterday had a couple objectives. So one, of course, was to outline the highlights of several drill holes that were in this batch. So that would be the second batch of results from this program that we were conducting at West Seal over the summer. And I'll talk about those highlights in a moment. And then the second purpose of the press release was basically to provide a bit of context around lots of the other work programs that we have on the go. So it's been a very busy summer. Of course, there was a lot of this drilling focused on resource definition activity at West Seal. Also have some regional exploration drilling going on. And then our second advanced project in the district called Berg. We've been drilling there for the last 6 weeks or so. So we provided a bit of color on how all those things are going to come together for the pending news flow over the next couple of months. So to answer your question, I'm feeling very, very good about things. It's been an extremely busy summer. Lots of results starting to come in, as you noted, in terms of the highlighted headline hole, some great results that I'll provide some context and color on, but should be a lot of more to come in that same vein.
Excellent. There were also several intercepts that had higher gold grade intercepts. Can you speak to that a bit?
Yeah. So, in these types of porphyry environments, the mineralization is typically, fluid in nature. That's sort of how it gets in place. So you often have stockwork veining that hosts a lot of our, copper, gold, and moly mineralization, but occasionally you will get these very high gold grade spikes within veins within that stockwork system. So there was a couple different holes that we put out that had some of those notable gold grades. Some of them were, in the middle of the porphyry copper deposit itself. So there's always the chance that you get these nice precious metal kickers, scattered around the deposit. There was a separate hole that was a exploration hole in the southeast region of the Seal deposits that it did hit a anomalous gold vein. It was quite deep, probably not something that we plan to follow up on at that depth, but I think speaks to the overall potential in these types of geological environments to find epithermal or hydrothermal vein style gold deposits. There's a lot of showings like this around the district that we probably will have further exploration targeting activities on in the months to come. But there were a couple nice hits that we included in this batch of results as well.
You still have assays pending at the Seal breccia zone, and you have a pipeline, as you describe it in the release, of regional exploration targets. How do you prioritize that moving forward?
Yeah, so I'd say that was the second part of the press release was just to provide a bit of color on where all the activity is happening and how it's going to be brought together in terms of news releases and disclosure to the market. So the drilling activity that has taken place at the Utsa property in the aggregate over the summer has been split between a few different buckets. So one is resource delineation or definition drilling at the West Seal deposit that we just spoke about. And then the next bucket has really been testing some sort of near deposits, high priority exploration targets, many of which are prioritized because of the existing data that we have around them, as well as ease of access in terms of existing, road networks into the areas that we'd like to collar the drill holes. So we put a number of batches of meterage into testing a bunch of these targets, and we provided some guidance that we'll be releasing those according to about 2,000 meters of sort of regional IP target testing that's gone on around the deposit area. And we did tag into this breccia zone north of the Seal deposit. It's an extension to a known body that had resources estimated on it previously, but we've now traced this breccia zone a few hundred meters to the west northwest from that original resource. So there's been about 7,000 meters of drilling that we've accelerated into this zone in order to be able to capture that in our pending resource update that we're working on for later in the year. So it's a shallow zone. It's we don't have any assays back yet, but we've highlighted some historical results from this area. It's known to carry quite high copper and silver grades. We've sort of visually traced this type of mineralization over a pretty decent strike length, width, and from surface down to 150 meters depth. So lots of shallow holes. So the number of holes that's gone into it is in the a few dozen, but a lot of these are shallow holes. So results from all that are pending and will be released in batches as we get those in.
The timing is good. It looks like you'll be on the road. I understand you'll be at the Mines and Money Conference here on October the 19th. I think you're also going to be at the Swiss Mining Institute in November the 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, and Mines and Money in London on December the 1st. Are all three of those accurate there?
Yeah, that's right. So the one next week, which is it's the Mines and Money event, but it's virtual in nature. I think they refer to it as IMARC, in recognition of the original, I think, timing for the IMARC event in Oz. I think that got moved to early next year, but they're sort of hosting it as a virtual event. So I'll be there. I have some time in my schedule next week, and then the Swiss Mining Institute is another virtual event in November, and then there's the kind of original Mines and Money in-person event in London at the end of November, early December.
Excellent. Looking forward to the assays. Thank you so much for the update. It's great to catch up. Anything else that you'd like to add to that?
No, I think that's a fair summary. So appreciate the time and the conversation, and hope you have a good one.
All right. Thank you. We'll chat soon. Bye now.
Cheers. Bye.